All right, I'm just going to start.
It appears that we're the only ones that are here.
It's March 9th, 2014.
Nope. Ham's online.
I guess I'll wait a moment.
Wait for it.
Now everyone knows the date.
Yep. Ham has come to save us.
Bacon saves us all.
Bacon saves us all. Hallelujah.
That's in the topics list.
Is it?
Yes. We'll get there.
This is what happens when I don't read the... Is it what I think it is?
No, it's better.
It's bacon.
It's better than what you think it is because it comes with a whole promotional video that's awesome.
Oh.
Where is it?
At the end.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Ham, you showed up just in the nick of time to cut foil off. He was going to start without you.
Yeah, I said as much as the date, and I almost pressed play on the on the opening video.
Sorry. I get trapped.
Fine. Trapped.
They trap me.
Trapped.
That's what happens when you have cats.
Yeah. Never get them.
It's not like you go and take them out for walks or anything like that, and I'm assuming you don't try and herd them.
Speak for yourself.
If I took a cat out for a walk, I've told you my love of cats. There would be a trebuchet involved, and the cat would be flying, and then let's see him land on his feet. And then he could walk back home.
That would be amazing to see.
Carnival ride for cats. Oh, it would be amazing to see. All right.
You know, they've got weird twisty bodies. They don't necessarily, I don't know, they're awkward.
Yeah.
So you're saying their trajectory of a cat would not be optimal.
Perhaps
No.
pairing a cat with a quadricopter may be of assistance.
Ha! That would be cool too. Little fly him around and drop him on things like, oh, there's the dog pound. Arms away.
Cat drone.
Okay.
We almost
It
hit video.
appears that Welsh
There's
will
video.
not be joining.
Okay.
And Ham has fired up his video.
Yeah, I think Ham's as good as ready for the video to be started up here.
Yeah, where does I'll ever be?
All right, then it's March 9th, 2014, and you're watching Mods on Air.
2 FPS, 3 RPGs, and 5 sim-type games.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to come up with one here.
I'm actually pulling this one hard.
Ask all the people that need hacks to play Call of Duty. I can hear you groaning inwardly every time Sin's mentioned. You're just cringing.
Welcome everyone to episode 417 of Mods on Air, bringing you the weekend gaming news as modders, developers, and gamers ourselves. I am Foyleman, and also on the show today we have with us Stryder. Hello, Stryder.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, and Ham is with us. Hello, Ham.
Hey, everybody.
Can't have a morning without Ham. So before we begin, let me remind you all that we are recording live. There may or may not be topics in the chat window, but you can always go over to the MODSonair.com website to see all the last episodes along with all the topics in case you want to see what we've talked about or follow up on something. But sometimes we get a little carried away and there can be an adult theme or bad word here and there. So if that's going to offend you, you may not want to stick around. It's... yeah. So...
My ears.
So we got a lot to talk about. We have, I don't know, 40 topics today, plus we can pick up on the 15 that we didn't do last week if you want. That's a day's work, perhaps.
We definitely had a crap load of topics last week, and there's a bigger crap load.
There's a bigger crapper?
Yeah,
it's a crap
bigger
fest.
crapper load.
Oh.
If we don't start talking about some of this stuff, they're just going to keep piling up.
Okay, well, here we go.
Like peanuts in an outhouse.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
Are we all
Canadian sayings.
Don't think about that one too much.
No. Well, here goes a guy talking in a video here about how we are all going to suck at playing games using the Oculus Rift. In other words, our brains and minds are not ready to adapt to the virtual world.
Oh. We're not advanced enough yet.
I watched this video, and that's kind of why I popped it onto the topic list. I watched this video, and it's actually, the points he raises are very valid. The games that we're trying to implement VR into gaming as we know it. Ham has been the flag bearer for VR since day one, and in all honesty, and we've all said this, until something comes out that is designed for VR, that implements VR, and that, like, right now it's all being bolted on to what we know as gaming. Once it ends up being VR, and that is the way gaming works, gaming's going to change. It's not going to be this stupid iOS bullshit that apps are not games. I'm sorry, people, apps are not games. But it's going to be fully integrated, and that's what we're seeing here is people are just not, like, these are some extremes of people just being absolute retards, but realistically, we need to develop something that implements VR, and yeah, we're going to be like the grandpas. We're going to be the old timers that aren't going to be able to cope. And so we'll suck at VR and all these and including all the D-bags playing like Call of Duty on the console and stuff like that. They're gonna suck at it too. They're just not going to be able to cope because gaming is going to be completely different.
I agree, and I think you make some great points. Right now, what we are seeing is existing games with VR sort of thrown on top, and we're supposed to be satisfied with that experience, and that's just kind of not how it really should be, because we see that in the results. It's like these games are okay. They seem kind of gimmicky though, but there's going to be some sort of breakout hit. I don't know when. It may be immediately, it may be years after the Oculus Rift and other VR solutions have come and gone, and people kind of just threw away that solution. But there's going to be something, and it's going to be that one thing that sort of propels everything else, and people can say, oh, that's what we've been missing this whole time. This is the experience we should have been going after since the start. And I've got that feeling it's going to happen.
Yes.
And I'm excited for it. And I suppose what I'm really excited about is that potential. I can see that potential. I can see that probable future where it's going to be this amazing experience that we don't have right now in terms of anything else that already exists. And that's what I'm really most excited for. And that's why I'm sort of carrying that torch for VR, because I know there's great potential in it, even if we don't see it right now.
Here's my problem with that thought process, though, is VR is ever moving us towards reality. And we're trying to implement this in to have so much realism that you're in the game. But or whatever you're doing, the VR is trying to put you into it. We're developing visual. We've already got the audio where we can have complete surround sound out of two headphones, so you can positionally sound or positionally detect sounds. We've got the light sensor guns that do your motion. We've got the Kinect that does your body position. We've got the stupid walk on the waist belt thing with the slippy shoes.
Right on my socks.
Also that you can be inside of an environment much like walking around outdoors. It's and you're going to get little feedback sensors that are going to give you shocks or little it'll be like little pneumatic
air
pistons or whatever.
Things, yeah.
You'll be wearing a suit with pneumatic pistons, so if you get shot in the arm, it'll like pow and your arm hurts and you'll end up with a bruise there. It'd be like virtual paintball. Why not go out the fuck side?
Go out the door.
Yeah, you're going to end up with something you have to put on your face so you can taste and you can smell. And if you're running past a volcanic opening, it's going to smell like brimstone and sulfur and it's just, what are we doing this for?
Well,
Is it because we want to live in a bubble and be able to experience everything that's outside the bubble?
I think for some people that's probably the case. For some people.
Then that is natural selection not doing its job.
We've
Seriously,
inhibited natural selection.
you grew up in a time where you could go outside and eat a handful of dirt. I grew up playing. I played dirt clump wars when I was a kid. Pulling lumps of grass out of the ground and throwing them at the opposing team. It was like summer snowball fighting, and none of us died. There was always that threat. Oh, someone's going to lose an eye. You're not going to fucking lose an eye. Now we've bubble wrapped everybody so that they're so paranoid. Everybody gets sick. Everybody gets, they're so enclosed in this germophobic bubble that we've created. And this is just going to further that cause. Don't go outside. You can virtually work. And eventually you're just going to be laying there in a fuck, what the hell was it? The tube, like they did in
Bruce Willis movie.
What's that?
I was thinking of that movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
was
movie.
Yeah.
It
Somebody
I
in the
just
comments
don't
should
know.
say it. It's that whatever that Bruce Willis movie is.
Yeah.
And
Well, and there's
surrogacy,
the one,
something like
and the
surrogacy,
one where you were
is
a
that it?
battery and all that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Something like
the
that.
Matrix and all of that. It's just you're going to end up in a virtual reality
Surrogates.
hell. Like you said, Foyle, a puddle of your own filth. Someone's going to come in and swab you down with a Dorito dipped in Mountain Dew, and
Dorito dipped in Mountain Dew.
while I'm excited for this in a
Doritos.
gaming aspect, sort of, I better qualify that sort of. At the same time, I game to escape from reality. I don't want a virtual reality to replace reality.
Okay, fair enough. And I see where you're going. I see exactly what you're saying, and I agree with it. But I think there's a nice balance. So the whole reason we have FPSs and the whole reason that sort of took off and that was something great was because before then we had some sort of like abstract shapes on screen, kind of a representational view of the character, but it was like a 2D thing, side scrollers. And then by having a first person view, you immerse yourself a bit more into the role that you're playing, whether you're fighting cyber demons or, I don't know, saving the world from Nazis for the umpteenth time. I see something like the Oculus Rift as sort of the next step. It just sort of heightens your sense of fulfilling that role. But when you start to get into crazy stuff like simulating the things that you can do, that you yourself can do, that's not necessarily a huge thing. Like, I don't know, I don't want a Oculus VR walking simulator. That's just stupid. You can walk outside. Unless, it's inclement weather, but
On the moon.
No, unless of
or you
course
can walk
it's
on the
sunny
beach.
or windy or rainy or snowy or cold or hot or moist or like that's leading towards that thought process of living in a bubble.
It is, you're right, but it's important that you have some sort of balance. I don't know exactly what that balance might be, but I think it's important. It's sort of like the difference between, I don't know, gathering around a table to play D&D versus going out into a field to do LARPing with people. That's stupid. I'm not going to dress up like a wizard.
No, why would you? Why would you if you could just put on your VR glasses and instantly you are that wizard?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And no one has to see your shame.
Well, that depends on how you look at that, but yeah.
yeah.
The first thing that's going to happen is there's going to be a bunch of fat fat guys sitting on couches, putting on these things, and they're going to be in this virtual. What's the virtual world that everybody like? There's a. Are you tired of your real life? Join
Life.
virtual life or whatever. Second Life. Second Life.
Oh yeah.
Going to be a bunch of people in Second Life, virtual reality. Is like, I got boobies, and that's what's going to happen.
Me and my girlfriend, we just watched a documentary called Life 2.0. It's on Netflix. If anybody has that, it's weird. It's a documentary about Second Life and the people behind it. And just to throw that out there, it's worth watching.
From Sundance Film, 2010. Okay.
Addresses the stuff. It's weird because you do have people who are fascinated that they're a girl and pretend to be girls.
We call them creeps in real life.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to have your character as a girl. That's fine. If you're a guy, you want to be sort of this badass woman. That's cool.
Don't discriminate,
But-
Stryder.
I'm not. You know what? Or it's called being confused. This is a homosexual that has not come out of the closet yet.
Right, but to pretend that you're a woman, that takes it to a different step.
That involves thought, I guess. Oh no, I'm masculine. Yes. I just pretend. I'm wearing this pink frilly dress thing because it's one of those things where it just doesn't make sense.
It's not going to. Well, this whole VR thing's not going to go away. It's only going to keep getting bigger and bigger. I mean, EA is now saying, "Hey, everybody, we're going to start exploring VR too." So it's.
Well,
There's EA on the cutting edge of thought processes once again. Thumbs up, EA. How to hop on that bandwagon. You know, the train's already left the station here and is flying down the tracks, and EA is like, maybe we should have got on that train. Let's hitch up the horse and buggy. And they're going to play catch up again. What they're going to do is they're going to try and bolt VR onto Battlefield. And because that's never been done. That's
versus Zombies or something.
Yeah. Yes. Plants versus Zombies.
That pee is coming right towards me.
Well, speaking of Battlefield,
That's a different game entirely.
Oh, pea shooter doesn't even make sense. I get that flower.
Speaking of Battlefield, did you see what EA was saying? They were saying, or was it EA said it or DICE? I think it was actually DICE that came out and said, you know what? I know that we put out bad release upon bad release of Battlefield 4, and it's still not working, even though we promised it would still be working. But after all this, it hasn't hurt our sales any. And I bet they're right.
Yeah, because all their sales occurred in the first couple months post-release.
prior to release.
Well, yeah, exactly, prior to release. And then essentially sales have tanked. I saw the latest patch because I this was on the news, the news that we do our research and stuff. But they've increased the level cap to 120 now to try and get people to continue to play.
I saw that. Does level matter in the game? I don't know what you get for having a higher level.
They probably
you get to say that you're pwning noobs because your level's higher than theirs.
I don't know.
maybe they introduce
It's that forever level grind.
Mm-hmm.
Always have the best armor, always have the best gun, always be the highest level. Oh, there's another piece of ammo or armor that they released. Oh, we got to grind up to that. Oh, now there's new weapons. Oh, you got to grind up to that. Oh, shit, they just raised the level cap. That means a whole bunch of new armors and this continuing thing of always offering that piece of candy dangling just out there. You can get it, but it's just a little piece of that candy, so you have to keep grasping for it. And then as soon as everybody catches up to that candy, you got to throw that line out there a little further.
I bet this whole sort of thing where they locked away content behind levels it probably started off as a good noble concept of we need to gradually introduce concepts to a player so that once things are finally all completely revealed, this complex system of things working is not too intimidating. So let's slowly introduce new concepts. And it's just been taken to a completely new level now, where you've got weapons or different things that should be unlocked right at the start, because these aren't really complex games. These are games that are very simple. But they've ruined it and made everything about feeling good. Your participation award.
Yeah. Participation ribbons. Love them.
I was playing. I'm absolutely horrible at Counter-Strike. Absolutely horrible. And the other day at the end of a match, I got some sort of award. And I was just like, that's obviously just a participation award to make me feel good, because I'm way behind the last person or the person above me. You know, it's like, here's something, you try it. You deserve this. And that needs to stop.
Okay.
And like Morpheus said, you're creating content to keep you playing something that otherwise probably wouldn't be engaging.
I don't know if this matters to anybody here, but 3D Realms has apparently been purchased. They used to be Apogee. I don't think we've actually seen a game from them in 10, 15, 20 years.
They did like Heroes Quest or something like that. What the hell was it that the did?
Wait, am I looking as Apogee? Okay, maybe that's what I'm missing. Yeah, okay, there you go. Wacky Wheels. What's
Duke Nukem.
Rise of the Triad, Duke Nukem 2 for iOS. Important note.
Duke Nukem 2 for iOS?
And 1 for iOS, yeah.
Okay. They were okay. They were kind of fun, but
They did do a general arcade version of Duke Nukem 3D. I'm looking for the actual... Oh, Prey! Look at that! The one they couldn't get to go again.
Max Payne 2. Yeah, there's
Max
not a
Payne
lot of...
1. No.
no, 3D Realms wasn't involved in Max Payne 2.
Yes,
Were they?
in 1 they were. And 2. The Fall of Max Payne. I don't know if that's a subtitle, only a portion of it or the whole thing. Okay.
I didn't realize they were involved in part 2.
They were bought up by an investment company that owns another studio somewhere or something. Doesn't matter that I know of. It doesn't impact this.
Interceptor, right? They've integrated into the Interceptor. Which,
Now they're Danish.
yeah, now they're Danish. Hopefully they can do something great with their properties, or whatever properties they still own.
Well, probably nothing with Duke Nukem, because that keeps getting hit into the courts, right?
Yeah.
We talked about something like that last week and the week before.
Let Duke Nukem die. There we go.
Duke Nukem can't die. He's like the Batman.
Okay.
And I'm here to save babes, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what they
Now, how...
Your nipples. Something Duke Nukem probably hasn't said, but should have said.
So has during all these console wars and stuff like that over the past few years, has anyone actually seen or thought about the purchase, or actually purchased, an Ouya?
No.
Nope. Remember that hype train I was on? I jumped off just before it launched.
I thought it had it was a good idea, but due to bad publicity or bad publishing, marketing.
I think it's just more bad idea.
I feel like
I don't think it's a good idea.
they should have gotten some first party titles there, or approached a few studios, a few people, gave them early access to the hardware and said, look, we know you do some great work. Here's our box. Can you make some stuff to show the potential, the great potential?
They kind of did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Who did they approach? I mean, I guess Minecraft was supposed to be on there.
Well, for a very little amount of money, any studio could have gotten one and did. And they saw the potential and put it on the shelf. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't inspiring either.
Well, then they should have gotten some first party titles then out there to say, this is what you can do with the Ouya. make some stuff now.
Well, now what you end up is
yeah, this is what you could do with the Ouya. Put it on the shelf like everybody else has. Let it collect dust.
Yeah.
It keeps that one little spot on your shelf free of dust because all the dust is on the Ouya.
Well, now that the next-gen consoles are out, they realize, I guess that's why. They realize that this isn't going to go anywhere. So what they're going to do is they're going to start releasing Ouya-type services instead of hardware. Now, that's when it does die, exactly. It doesn't work.
Remember when they said that they were going to update the hardware every year? I mean, this was not too long ago. They said
A few weeks ago, they said they were coming out with a new version.
Yeah.
With more memory.
Ouya 2.0.
But it was going to cost 150 instead of 100.
So now they've changed course and they're saying that they're going to do services instead. Is that how they're spinning it?
Yeah, now they're just going to be like streaming the service or putting it out on existing hardware. Mad Catz thinks it's a great idea because Mad Catz is jumping on board with that. They are going to be, they've been putting together some sort of Mojo Android type game console.
They're gonna lose their Mojo.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So this is the Mad Catz. This is a $200 Android thing, and that's after it dropped $50 off the price.
Here's the problem. The whole problem with this is it's a whole bunch of Android games or phone games. It is, and essentially that's what it is. It's a whole bunch of little apps. I'm gonna backtrack and again refuse to call apps games. It's a whole bunch of little step in, step out apps that are time vampires designed to get you through awkward social interactions. If you're sitting at home and you are socially or if you're having an awkward social interaction by yourself at home, then really you need to have that gun in your mouth. Seriously, why would you want to play a phone game on your big screen? Because really that's exactly what this is inviting. Yes, the hardware probably could do something more than that. Has it? No. Will it? No. And the reason is because nobody's going to put the effort into something that is probably just going to fade away into obscurity. Do you want to be, as a game developer, do you want to put all of your effort into developing this title for this platform so that it can go out there and then the platform fails, even though you've got the best game ever? If it's the only title on that console or that piece of hardware, even if it's on a PC and that's the best title, but it's the only title, that piece of hardware is going to fail, and so with it drag down your awesome game. So why not put it out on something that's more popular or more mainstream? And that's why Ouya is going to fail, and all consoles like it.
I mean, that's a very solid point. But what's the alternative? What do people do who? Well, I mean, I guess you just said it. Put stuff out on more popular platforms, but man, I guess the PC is the only one really without rules. But for everything else, there's rules about sort of you don't have a publisher, so we aren't going to put your game on. It could be an awesome game, but you don't have a publisher, so nope. Or you don't have an office. I think Nintendo may have lacked that rule, but for a long time, Nintendo was like, if you don't have a physical office, if you work from a home office, you cannot make a game for any of our systems. And that seems kind of arbitrary. I see some of the points, but in the end, it's still kind of arbitrary. It's like I work out of my home, so I don't have a physical location that I need to go to. So now I can't put anything on your console. So it's crazy. I don't think it's the case anymore. But it's just so you've got these. That's an example of these weird rules that a lot of people in charge of certain platforms beyond the PC will kind of tell developers. And the Ouya, in a way, was a response to that, saying, "Hey, you've got a great product. Just deliver it to the people. Don't go through all these sort of weird loopholes." But
it never materialized. That's the thing, and that's essentially the argument that I believe I raised is the reason behind it not materializing. Is you've got developers that are going to focus on developing their title, and then the publisher is going to put that onto different things. If you develop something specifically for a phone, you're not expecting to put it on the Ouya. However, that's exactly what the Ouya library got flooded with, was a bunch of phone games.
True. True. And that's when I looked at the Ouya and I was really excited about it. What really got me was here's some familiar back-end tools that you as phone developers or app developers are already using to create phone games, but here are those familiar tools, and now you can create a full-fledged game. You can leave that sort of that phone-like environment behind, but instead, like you said, it got flooded with phone games with ports. And in that sense, I almost feel like maybe some sort of culling should have happened from the Ouya staff, some sort of the word escapes me right now, but just some sort of judgment calls to say, look, that's a phone game. This is not supposed to be a console that you port phone games to.
And that would have cut their throat even sooner.
You think so?
The only reason that they've got as much on their library as they do, and any sort of titles on their library, is because they allowed it to just be open and people could just push this shit out. It was already made for the phone. No thought was required. Okay, we can publish on the Ouya too. Yay for us. We did nothing. Maybe we'll sell a copy.
Yeah.
There was nobody looking forward far enough to say, you know what, before we push this Ouya out, let's have a reason for people to buy it besides the possibility of there being something. And I think that's where that technology, or that thought process for that particular technology, failed.
So what's the alternative? What's the solution then? Is it just forget all that stuff, just focus on the PC if you're an independent developer and you want your games to maybe be ported to the console eventually? Just start with the PC. Is that what you say?
No, I'm saying, you know what, if I was sitting on this Ouya technology brainchild before I started saying, you know what, here, have an Ouya, buy an Ouya, come and buy an Ouya, you can put your game on an Ouya, here, I would have said, hello, game developer, I want you to develop a fantastic game that goes on this Ouya. Hello, game developer number 2, I want you to develop a game that goes on this Ouya. We will help you put this out there, you know.
They did that.
We'll help you get your game out. But what did they get? They got fast ports because they didn't do it before they said, here's all these Ouyas, now we need stuff to put on them.
Yeah. Maybe that's why, yeah.
They didn't do it before they made that hardware available.
Right.
And so what happened was this hardware's out there, and now unfortunately because of the way Ouya did it, everybody else rushed to get their console out there. And we saw look at the Phantom console as an example.
Or don't.
This console was in development. The idea was great. However, nobody was buying into it from a publisher-developer perspective. And so that is why it remained a Phantom console. Ouya said, okay, I'm going to take that awesome idea, because everybody's like, oh, this is an awesome idea. I'm going to here's the hardware. Now you guys can make stuff for it. It's still a failure because no one wants to take that step off of it's a step off a cliff. And you may or may not have a parachute or a big pile of money at the bottom to cushion your fall.
So you're saying they should have, before, and Justin, just so I can encapsulate this, you're saying they should have, before it was generally available, they should have said, hey, here's what we got. You, because you're talented, can you make something awesome for this little console, and do that for quite a few different developers, and then push it out and say, here's this Ouya with all these awesome games, and you can make a great game too. Is that?
Then it might have worked.
It might have worked. Okay.
I'm not saying it would have worked, but then it might have worked.
That seems solid. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the Xbox One, if Microsoft said the Xbox One is coming out on December 15th, everybody should have one under the tree for Christmas. Everyone's going to love having this Xbox One. but there's no games coming out for it until someone decides to publish something, and we're not expecting that until maybe the middle of the year the following. How many Xbox Ones do you think would have sold for Christmas?
Right. Great point.
I know there was people clamoring to be able to watch TV and snap Bing and Skype on their Xbox One without playing any games. However, if it had come out with no game titles, and then all of a sudden you got these cheap, corny ports because it was quick and easy of games that were designed for the Microsoft Zune, how successful would have the Xbox One launch been? It wouldn't have. And there's the problem. Foyle, you're playing a video for the next topic.
I know. Well,
Okay.
we're talking about like Tetris type games, these one-off games that handle on these tiny little devices. This is somebody that put together a business card. It is that he I don't know how many of these he could have printed up. It's the business card shape is what people should be saying, in order to promote himself, which is a great idea for promotion. But then you got to think about this. Is this something that you would pay for if you were a consumer? No, it's not. It's one of these little nonsense games, just like the Ouya, just like the things that we're talking about that aren't going to go anywhere. Yeah, your phone has this, and a lot more to it. Great idea to promote what you can do if you're an electrical engineer.
Well, and you're looking at the back of it. It's just a little circuit board with a small LED. It's not bad. I mean, the battery's right there. I looked at this and I was like, man, this is actually a pretty cool idea for a business card.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet you those business cards cost around $100 each.
They
That's
could,
a little pricey,
right?
Yeah.
And if they don't cost that much, I mean, you're not going to sell them. You're going to be giving them away. How many are you going to
give them away?
Because nobody wants to buy something like this. They all think it's cool, but what are they going to pay for it?
And what would you actually?
That is what Ouya should have thought.
Yeah.
It's a great idea, but who's really going to pay for it?
Yeah.
It's a novelty, definitely a novelty. One of those things where you say, yeah, that's cool. I'm not going to pay for that though, but it's cool.
Like a kick in the nuts booth at a fair. Who's really going to pay for that?
There'll be that one person.
Yeah. Oh, there's beeping going on, so stuff is probably. Oh yeah. Here comes Breezy now, looking. Yeah. Time change. Duh.
Some people don't realize that we actually talk about time changes before they happen, like a week before, and
months before.
Was he here last week? Oh, he wasn't even here last week. Anyway,
Did I miss something? Oh, yeah, that's right. He wasn't here last week. But we mentioned it before, and everybody was there.
Mm-hmm. All right. He's sick anyways. All right.
Yeah,
ignore him. He's just wasting our time and distracting us over talking about the new and improved almost there. Project Spark. Project Spark is now available to everyone. It's now in beta mode, so you too can make a game using Project Spark and not have it show up anywhere for people to play. As far as I know, you can work in this, you can make a game in this, and you can't show it to anybody in the end. Is that right, Ham? I think you know.
No, there's a sort of a weird marketplace where you can share games.
There is.
Yeah.
This is for the Xbox.
Within the game. Yeah. I have not explored the tools. I know the tools are available where you can make a game, but in my brief time with Project Spark, I did, I think, sort of download a game or two. There was somebody that made a Tetris type game, and I played it. And I said, "Oh, that's neat," but whatever.
And the marketplace, is that something that you think people can find and use, or is it a waste of time?
Well, they can find it and use it. It's built right into like the dashboard of the game, like the main menu. So people will be able to find stuff. Let's be honest here. This is Microsoft's attempt to ape Little Big Planet. I mean, because people could do that with Little Big Planet. And that's all this is. This is, let us try to make Little Big Planet / Minecraft or something. And in that regard,
that really needs to be made.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, well, looking at what's going on, this is going to end up promoting the idea that not only can you purchase the games, but they're trying to promote in-game purchases, App Store kind of thing, because they're talking about how there are Spark tokens showing up where you can purchase Spark tokens so that you can use those to purchase things in the game.
Yeah.
And it's a penny a token, pretty much. Actually, you get 500 tokens for $4.99.
Ooh, bargain.
Yeah.
And you need 510 tokens to buy anything.
It's so here they are right out of the gate trying to monetize this. Little Big Planet 2 is, it's successful because of its style, but it's also probably really successful because the games they aren't charging for, and it's great to give people opportunities to make money, but everybody's going to want a little something. And
it has a fan base already prior to this.
Yeah, you've got a fan base, but what happens when all those great-looking games, user created games that you really want to try are locked behind pay for this? That's it's
you end up with phone games on the console, which, by the way, can only be on the console unless they decide to reprogram the entire thing, because I think this doesn't work outside of Xbox One. Is that right?
Well, it's on Windows 8.
Well, you build it, you construct it on 8.1, but I don't know if you can release it on 8.1. Do you know?
You can.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because I don't have an Xbox One, or an X. Well, I do have an Xbox, but I played everything on Windows 8.1.
Outside of the editor.
Yeah, outside of the editor.
Okay. All right. I didn't know that part.
Oh wait. Well, when you say outside of the editor, I don't have to open up the editor to open up this game. I can sort of click in the menu to say yes, I want to play that game within the project. So I open up Project Spark. I click that, but no, you can't release this as a separate app to download. No.
Right. So it's like must have Origin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
In this case,
you must have
Project
Origin, and
Spark.
you must pay for Origin on a daily basis. It sounds like you must subscribe to Origin.
Is there a subscription in this thing? I don't think there is. I think it's free.
No, but they may introduce a subscription. Who knows? Microsoft
Monetizing it, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You can do this, but you can only do it if you pay to do it.
Yeah, they've got this knack for being a day late, $1 short, and completely screw up a good idea or what's a good idea.
Well,
Yeah.
how are they late with this one? What are they late because of?
Well, this is Little Big Planet cross Minecraft, so they're already on that bandwagon, and then so that's late in that regard. They see the success of Little Big Planet. They're like we want our own Little Big Planet, which is fine. You want that? That's cool, fine. But be honest. At least you are aping that. You are aping Minecraft, and then screwing it up by introducing micropayments before the game is even out there.
That's true there. Yep.
Yeah.
But EA can do it, so why can't they? EA says every single game we ever release from now on is going to be free to play, and you're going to have to pay through the butt to do anything.
They're wrong.
While in the game. Yeah, they're wrong too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what does perhaps they're going to use this along with DirectX 12. Right now, everybody's using DirectX 11. So, but what does this mean? So what? DirectX 12. I guess this just means that people they're going to start making DirectX 12 for Windows 8 only and trying to make you force Windows 8.
Yeah, they're going to try and force people to Windows 8 is what my guess here, because there is no. They did it with DX10.
Vista,
when I went to DX10, they tried to force everybody to Vista. That failed. DX11 was Windows 7, and now because they've got Windows 8, you had to see that this was coming, and they're going to try and force people to Windows 8.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Of course, we keep talking about this. How they want you to use this system that isn't necessarily the system that you need it to be. Right, Ham?
Yeah, I mean,
I ask him because he's the one using it and hating it.
He's the only sucker here that.
Yeah,
he didn't just try it; he made the switch.
Yeah, it's a train wreck. It is a train wreck. I've got it on 3 different PCs now, 2 desktops and 1 laptop, and they could have easily had all those sort of back-end changes that are great for the desktop portion, that could have been done without making things just a travesty in terms of usability.
Okay.
So
Such as not make every desktop user use a phone operating system.
right.
Exactly. I still really fail to see how this is going to work in a business like Windows 8. I'm talking about here. Work in a business atmosphere.
Oh, come on, Stryder. They brought back the desktop.
Yeah.
So of course it works.
Because hindsight is always 20/20. I'm sorry. I've looked at it. I've played with it a little bit, and I've touched people's surfaces, and it is not. It's not capable of what's the words? A productivity suite. It is not. It is anti-productive. It is gimmicky and gadgety.
Very much so.
Why is productivity down in the workplace? Well, probably because we switched to Windows 8.1 and fucking nobody knows how to use it, and everybody's like clicking on things, and all you hear from every cubicle is, God damn you, Windows 8. Just sorry.
It's
The hell good.
All right. Here's one. Somebody's promoting a game, so I don't know. It sounded interesting for me to bring up this one game called One Finger Death Punch. And I bring this up because...
Is it something to do with the band Five Finger Death Punch?
No, I'm thinking it has something to do with... Here's another game that only requires one finger.
Well, it's a rhythm game, so... I mean, and there's a heavy metal band, Five Finger Death Punch. Is it something that is their music and it's just tap, 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 Five Finger Death Punch?
This game has been out for a while. It won, I think it won the last contest that Microsoft sponsored for the XNA Game Challenge.
Doesn't
ended up
promote the
getting-
band anywhere that I can see.
No.
No.
I got this in a bundle. I haven't actually played it, but the video looked decent enough.
Stick figures.
Yeah.
Takes one
Stick
finger,
figure.
playing like, what's one where you slice fruit? Fruit Ninja. Fruit Kitchen Aid.
Yeah. Coming soon to iPod White for girls. One finger ironing. One finger sandwich maker.
That one sounds dirty. Okay.
One finger sandwich maker. Some days you're a hot dog and some days you're a bun.
Actually, though I haven't played it, based on what I've seen, it looks like it could be fun, and I support the developers behind it, despite not necessarily knowing them.
You support games that only require a finger. Press here to win. Because that's kind of what it is.
I support, well, yeah. I support people who create something, who go out and
Okay.
with the faith and just create something.
So you're supporting the developer and not necessarily the game. Because
So
I gotta
you
say, I'm tired of these games that are just like, yeah, press a button.
And so, unfortunately, Ham, you're a product of today's environment, and
Yeah.
you're saying that everybody deserves a ribbon for trying.
No,
Because that is what
no.
that is what you just said.
That's,
I support people for making the effort to make a game. Even though the game is a piece of shit, I'm supporting them because they took the effort. So here's your participation ribbon. Go sit there fuck in the corner and shut up. That's essentially what that's boiling down to, and I'm
that
sorry.
came out wrong.
That is
that came out wrong then, because that is not what I meant at all. If that's what it sounded like, that is not what I meant. No, I support someone saying that, look, my dream is to make games, and I'm gonna start with an idea and make that game, and I'm gonna have it be successful and fun to play. Is this game successful? Well, it won some awards. I haven't necessarily played it myself, so I
It
can't.
won some awards.
Well, it won. No, it won. It won some awards. It won
The
some
Welcome
awards.
to the Show award.
It wasn't an award where it's like, thank you for trying, here's your award. No, it actually competed and won some awards. So with people with lots of entries. So maybe a lot of the entries were horrible, and this was like, this is the best of the crappy bunch. I don't know, but it actually competed. This game has competed and won an award against other people. And as a person who is in the same sort of boat, saying, look, I'd like to make some great games, despite being whatever the engagement level. I want to make some games that are fun to play, and I've got an idea, and I want to see that idea through to completion. I support that, and if you're successful in the end when you do that, I'm happy for you, and that's where I'm coming from. I'm happy for these guys for having an idea, taking it from scratch to completion, and being successful with it.
Here is my problem again with that, is that when we first started doing this way back when, well before that, we were a group of friends helping the community out, mapping for Call of Duty. Call of Duty had just come out, everybody was mapping for it, and the first advice that I gave to people, and many other people gave to people, don't publish your first map, because what it's going to be is it's going to be a copy of the tutorial. And if you look in the download section of Mods Online, because we didn't judge, you put a map up, we'll publish it for you, there is so many box maps, because that's what the tutorial showed how to make. It was a box with a spawn point and a couple crates and a tree and a light. There is countless maps like that. Just because you want to do it doesn't make it good. You followed it through. You know what? Great. This particular game, honestly, that's grade 12. In today's world, that's like a grade 12 Java game.
I mean, it probably is.
And this is the problem, is the gaming industry is being destroyed by allowing games like, or apps like this, to exist and be published and give them acclaims and little tokens and little ribbons for participating. And oh, good for you, you followed through. If you cannot publish a game, I'm not saying everything out there needs to be AAA, because by all means, I support indie development. But those indie developers that I support and say, you know what, you're doing a fucking bang up job, are not the ones that are sitting there and scribbling through something and coming up with a honestly, what purpose does this game serve that it hasn't already been done?
Well, I when I saw this game and I saw the great cover, because there's some really great cover artwork. When I saw this game and I saw
a turd.
Well, when
just
when
because
I saw
it's a picture of something awesome, if there's a turd in there, it's still a turd in there. The cover doesn't mean shit.
Well, I'm getting to the point. I was intrigued because I saw that great artwork and it said One Finger Death Punch. Okay, whatever. What is this? Why did this deserve to win an award? Because this is the Dream Build Play competition was something that I've wanted to compete in. I've never actually completed the game to enter the competition, but it was something I wanted to compete in. So I always look at the winners. And so I looked, and there was an interview with the winners, with these guys who made it, or maybe it's just one guy. And I think he said he started with the idea that he wanted to make something that was like a cinematic kung fu movie, but he wanted to make it accessible. And that's what it was. I mean, if you look at it, that's exactly what it is. It's some sort of stick flash movie, like kung fu movie, greatly accessible by pressing one button. It's a rhythm game. It's you time button presses. He succeeded in that goal. Is it very unengaging? Very no thought required? Definitely so. That's exactly what this is. Some of the games that I'm working on that I want to make are games that they engage you. Well, the games that I try to make engage you visually, but not so much in that you have to sit down and think about too much stuff. And I think there's room for that. Should games like this win all sorts of awards? Probably not.
Depends on what it's against.
Yeah. Depends upon what's up there. I think there's room for it, but I see what you're saying. To flood the landscape with games like this is not healthy for anybody.
It's all becoming white noise.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
There's a new app every day, at least one new app every day. I'd like to see how many apps Apple approves it on a daily basis for publishing. Android, there's no control over it, so there's at least 100 every day on Android. Many of them are the exact same thing, over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, those are no good.
It's like we said with the Steam sale last week. We were talking about the Steam sales, and now developers can set their own Steam sales. You missed this, Ham, because you chose not to show up.
It's in something.
But I said it. I believe Morphus said it. It's now white noise. When you log into Steam, everything's on sale. The only time you pay attention is if something that you want is actually on sale, and it's something that you don't already own from a previous sale. So in all honesty, their Steam sales are pointless. Now developers can set their own, and sure as shit, the first day that there was available for developers to set their own, boom, 5 developer sales.
Yeah, a ton of sales.
See, I think these games are poor business decisions, but I'm not going to say that they don't deserve to be considered games.
Oh, well,
they're toys. They're toys.
Yeah,
they're a toy. Yes, exactly. They're a toy. If you're serious about game development, you come up with something like this.
if you're serious,
whatever you got to do. So whatever you got to do with this, you're one fingering it to you're one finger death punching this little stick ninja to death. Okay, great. What's your master goal? Because this can't be it. If this is your goal in life and you've achieved it, seriously, that gun should have been in your mouth a long time ago. Your parents should have ate you when your bones were soft. There has to be something more to it than this. And unfortunately, everybody is stagnating at this.
Here's another one. I would say this other game here is also a version of stagnation, which is called.
Tell me you're going to this one.
The number 22.
Oh. Okay.
I was going to go to the best trailer is already here, which is basically a game called Crawl, I think. Isn't that the one that's Crawl? Yeah.
Oh. I like what I saw with that. I want to play that. It seemed fun.
But it seems like fun. It's a pretty interesting idea, but the way they implemented it, it's just already been done and done and done and done.
Okay, well, I want you to explain that after the trailer.
It's a dungeon crawler.
Before.
Just like, go out there and find out how many dungeon crawlers there are. There are way too many of them, and this is also using graphics that were all pretty much seen. They tried to do a spin on it. I wouldn't say that spin was successful.
Oh?
No, because it's still just 8-bit graphics.
Yeah, it's like 8 or 16-bit graphics.
Spin in that way, okay.
Yes. They tried to do retro, and they
nostalgia. Yeah, they're trying to capture nostalgia.
But the idea of the gameplay, the idea behind that, I think is an interesting one. I would have liked to see it fleshed out in a different way. Okay.
Yeah, that's what. If they had just shown this and said it's a dungeon crawler where you can play with friends, cooperatively, I would have said, okay, I've seen this before. But it was that concept of, oh yeah, let other people play as the monsters. That's what sort of drew me in. Like, okay, this is really cool. I'd like to play that.
Yeah, the game is basically one person against, I don't know however other many, but one person is the hero and the other people are creatures or even parts of the dungeon where you can be the dungeon itself and have traps and stuff like that going on. If you kill the hero, you become the hero, and the previous hero becomes something else in the game.
Yeah, it's a king of the hill.
Yeah.
So essentially, it sounds very much like a 16-bit third-person Left 4 Dead 2,
like the Left 4 Dead multiplayer. Yeah.
Multiplayer.
Yeah.
Except
very similar.
If you don't get dead if you get infected, you get to be infected, and then the infected that killed you becomes the hero.
Right, that's the spin.
Yeah, that's the spin. You know what? That's contagion. That's the zombie.
The mod?
The zombie mod Contagion, where if you got bit by a zombie, you were slowly turning into a zombie, and eventually you would be a zombie and be attacking your teammates.
Well, this would be the opposite, because if you kill the hero, you become the hero.
Yeah, so that's also, what the hell? There was a game mode for that, for Call of Duty or UO.
I don't know.
The VIP or something like that, and if you capped the VIP, then you became the VIP.
Okay, there you go.
Something like that.
Well, here's what I've learned in the last few months. Well, not that I learned, but I've really taken to heart.
A few months.
In the last few months, what I've really taken to heart is that just because a game has done something before doesn't mean that you shouldn't have you shouldn't try to throw your spin on it if you think it's worth it. There can be more than one thing doing the same thing. It's just, as long as you aren't completely ripping something off, as long as your attempt offers something unique, then it's worth
Like Killing Floor. If you want me to throw something at Killing Floor, it is just Left 4 Dead with a bunch of zombies coming at you.
Yeah,
it's a redone,
and it's fun. And so,
but something was changed.
So there was this thing recently where I'm just like, do I need this game? I've already got a game. I've already got a. To simplify the example, I've already got a first-person shooter. Do I need another first-person shooter? And it was just like, well, yeah, because just because I've got one doesn't mean that I need to stick with that one or only have one at a time. Fine, I can have tons of them, and they all do something a little bit different. And if they do something different enough for me, then it's worth having in my collection and worth playing. I don't need one type of genre or one game per genre, and that's fine. Something like this looks cool enough that I'd give it a go. But I mean, I guess that's the risk also in buying these things, because some stuff you're gonna buy and just not play again. And it's like, all right, well, this game over here does it much better. I wasted my money on this. Of course, you want to minimize how much money you waste, though.
Yeah, I don't want to say, and I hope I'm not. I hope. Well, nobody watches this show anyways, besides you guys now. So 'cause I don't think you watch it again in the future. But I don't want to say that development of games akin to this and akin to One Finger Death Punch, development of that type of an experiment is bad. However, thought should be put into the process behind getting that out there. Is it something that you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to make millions off of this game? Or is it something like, you know what, friends, play this, tell me what you think, and how could I implement this into something grander? And unfortunately, there's all these little cells out there, things that are saying, I can do this better, 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 I can do this better. They're all putting out the same schlock at the same time because they think they're better than every other person, rather than going back and working as a cohesive unit and saying, you know what, I've got this idea for this. Oh, that's cool. I've got this idea for this. Oh, I've got this idea for this. And then all three of those guys working together with him doing his idea, him doing his idea, and him for something bigger. And instead, it's all these little pieces of the puzzle that just aren't getting it. They're just not making it. And it's because that's all that's out there, we're slowly mentally degrading ourselves as a consumer to say, you know what, this is the best of the shit that's out there. So, you know what, here's my participation ribbon for you. And it's horrible. It's horrible for our industry.
I agree. I completely agree. When you've got tons of stuff like that, it becomes noise, it becomes crap, just a lot of clutter, really, with nothing saying I'm worth it. I am worth existing. And I mean, I struggle with this myself sometimes. I'd say I've got these grand ideas that I know will take forever, but then I've got this sort of small selection of games that I want to develop. And if I'm being really honest with myself, they aren't games, they're toys. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with creating toys. Because these are simple. Like a Rubik's Cube. Is a Rubik's Cube a game or a toy? And I think most people will say it's a toy. it's something you sort of pick up and put down.
Rubik's Cube is like a single player game.
Yeah. And because a lot of the things that I've got, like, oh, that would be fun to play. Really, it's a simple concept under stressful conditions. It doesn't take any inherent skill. It's just simple idea under stressful conditions. I'd say one finger death punch or Flappy Bird or the same thing. It's a simple concept of tapping under a stressful condition. That's a toy. It's not really a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it's a hard definition.
It is. Because then I'd say the same thing. Something like Minecraft. I'm not a huge fan of sandboxes, but Minecraft, to me, it's a toy. It's Legos. It's a chance to kind of be creative. And when little monsters come at night, I don't know what that is. I'm not, I guess, a fan of sandbox games too much. So, but you got these different types of toys, but then you've got full-on thought-provoking games, and yeah, maybe it's a bit hard to define, but it's one of those weird things where it's like I know it when I see it, so I think there's room for toys, like you said. Like you aren't going to call these things games; they're apps, and I think there's room for those. Mm-hmm. But we should really be honest and say this is an app, this is not really a game, or this is a toy, this is not really a game. And if you want a full engaging game, go over there, because all those full engaging games are over there. But there's this noise where now they're being confused, and now you've got tons of things that really should be called toys or time wasters, and those are being passed off as games. And that's part of the frustration that I'm sure Stryder's talking about, that a lot of people are talking about. I'll stop now.
No, you don't need to. It's true, and that's the I don't know. It's one of those things where we could sit here and debate this days, hours, weeks. Hours, days, weeks, whatever, in chronological order. Something needs to give, and unfortunately, I see what's going to happen is what happened to the gaming industry in the early 80s, early to mid 80s, where
arcades started to die for some reason. Yeah,
arcades started to die because it was moving to PC, and everybody said, "Hey, you know what?"
I don't know if that's
not
why.
Everybody, but the PC the publishing companies like EA and Activision, because they were around back
Consoles.
then, said, "Hey, we can monetize the fuck out of this. We can take all those quarters out of the arcades and put them in our pockets.
Instead of a quarter a piece, it's $40 a piece."
Yeah.
And it killed the game industry. Mm-hmm. Because they'd come out with
killed the arcade industry.
Well, no, it killed the gaming industry in the way that you had a successful business model. They tried to make more. Mm-hmm. They tried to make more, and they tried to control it. And they said, you know what? People will just keep giving us these quarters. They do it in the arcade. Why can't we get it so that they just stick quarters into a machine at their own home? Mm-hmm. People don't want that. People never wanted that, and it almost killed the game industry. Then you had all that innovation come around with the pioneers, with John Carmack being a pioneer, with Doom and things like that, coming around and saying this is what gaming should be. And we developed and we progressed, and now we're regressing again, back to a point where before all this innovation came out, and they're doing that by making it so that there is no creativity left. There is nobody to keep progressing, because they're stifling that by saying, you're just going to have to settle for this, and that's all there is. I don't want this. Well, this is all there is, and that's what's going to happen. So,
yeah, it's we're going to regress to a point where everybody's going to kind of give up. And yeah,
and you know what? That's a valid statement, Foyle. We're due for a big innovation or change. The change is, but it's not going to happen until this industry totally tanks. And so that means what we're going to get is just going to be shittier and shittier and shittier because
Stare
we've
at
not
this
reached
door.
the bottom of the barrel yet.
No, we haven't. All right. We've easily hit our hour, but there's a whole bunch of other things we could talk about. I know there's a couple near the end that I definitely want to bring up. Do you guys want to talk about anything in this list or outside of this list?
Keep going, buddy.
All right.
There's-
I'm going to...
Just so people in TV land know, there's probably another 40
hour.
topics.
Yeah, there is. There's just so much. Well, you know, this week, next weekend, we're not going to be here. I will be in GDC and Game Connection. Actually, those two conventions are going on. One right after, sort of blending in with the other one, in San Francisco. So I'll be gone for a week, trying to attend all these shows. I'm apparently going to hear someone blah 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 about DirectX 12. I doubt I'll see anything. And who knows who I'll get to talk to or who will talk to me, but I do plan on talking to a lot of people. I'm going there actually as a developer, not necessarily as a media representative, so my take on this is different than like when we go to PAX and come back with all this video and stuff. So I think a lot of these topics are sort of leading up to that, which is why there's a whole bunch of stuff in here being announced and being talked about, such as Twitch. Lots more stuff going on Twitch for streaming of games, broadcasting on your mobile now, broadcasting the E3, which is going to be happening in May or June, probably June, because it's usually right around the two. On live, trying to be reborn without actually using hardware and stuff like that going on. But those are just, you know, topics that would take up another hour easily. Yeah. So you might want to go out there and look around. And sorry, we're not going to be here next week. But there are some other funny things that I wanted to bring up that I thought was just weird, really, such as the idea that, let's see, which ones am I going to play at the end of the show and which one will I play now? You know, Titan. I'm going to go to the very end there and say that, you know, Titan the game was just recently released about a week and a half ago, I think it was, is officially released, or something like that.
Titan or Titanfall?
Titanfall, right?
Titanfall.
Okay.
Well, here goes the hamburger that is named after the game. Titan burgers. Disgusting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cheeseburgers in one or something. Mm-hmm.
You can take and stick yourself inside this Titan and.
Gross.
And then
Titanfall in the toilet.
Should I? I'm wondering if I should save one for the end of the show or if I should play that weird legit MLG thing that Ham brought up, which is, I don't know, kind of annoying and but yeah.
I couldn't stop myself from laughing.
All right. Well, you know, I should save the bacon one for the end then. How about trying to? There's these twins that came up with doing. These two girls, they're twins, playing the harp, doing various songs, which is just weird. I don't want to say it's insane. It's kind of creepy. Here they do Skyrim, Morrowind, Elder Scrolls. They're doing the theme song. Oops, I keep jumping ahead instead of turning up the volume. And you know what? Initially, you might think, ooh, this is something I want to see. And then, no, it's not. And they do a whole bunch of different songs, usually from gaming. So they have a lot. Yeah. Okay, so you got that. And then the one that
I was actually more enthralled when I saw two cellists playing Thunderstruck.
I don't think I saw that.
Oh, I'll find it. It's good.
All right. And then we have this other one that I'm going to play. I'm going to play you a commercial after the closer here for a product that allows you to wake up to the smell of bacon on your iPhone.
No joke.
On your eye.
On your iPhone.
Yep.
Yeah. And the commercial is just
bacon.
yeah. Commercial's wild. Okay. So on that, not let that play in the background because everybody
No,
loves
don't.
harps.
It's actually making me want to find that gun that I was speaking of.
Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up the next 2 weeks?
Oh, one bit of opinion. I did play the Elder Scrolls beta, and it is not a game you should pay any money for.
You see, and they want you to pay up front and subscribe at the same time.
Yep. Play it when it finally goes either free to play or if it's a pay once game with no subscription. Then
Can
it
you
might be worth it.
Can you sum up your reasoning within a few words, few adjectives here?
Okay, well, we've got enough free-to-play games that are fun and engaging enough where you don't have to pay anything and still have a good time, where when you compare Elder Scrolls Online, the experience that you get, though it's different, especially coming from an MMO perspective, it's not different enough, not engaging enough, and not fun enough that it's worth spending money monthly for. It's just not.
And their price structure was very similar to what Star Wars: The Old Republic came out at, which was overpriced, but people bought into it because it was Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a crappy
The
game.
Elder Scrolls, and my understanding is there's the voice acting and animation that was in The Old Republic doesn't exist in Elder Scrolls Online.
Nope. Nope. It's not a crappy game. It is not. But it is not a game that is worth paying the amount that they want every month, or even the entry price.
Thanks. Good.
So that's all I got to say.
All right. That's it, Ben. I'll wrap it up. I want to thank our hosts for taking the time out to chat today. Thank you, Stryder, for joining us on this slightly earlier for some of you day.
It's always an adventure.
It's something. Ham, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We will be back in another 2 weeks, but in the meantime, I want to thank our listeners for joining us today. We will be back in 2 weeks and have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Check out the news this week. GDC, lots of stuff. See ya. Take care, everyone. Hey. That's good be. Thanks for watching this week, and come back next week when we will broadcast another live show. Details for this and all past episodes can be found at MODSonair.com. We welcome your feedback via email at mailbag@modsonair.com, and please consider subscribing to modsonline.com to support our show. The opinions expressed by individuals on this program are not necessarily the opinions of our sponsors, owners, or partners. All right, and as I said, I got a... Wow. See, look how prepared I am. Bacon number 39. Wake up to bacon. Here we go. I'll even go full screen for you.
I'm gonna wake up to Kevin Bacon. That'd be scary.
Oh. Oh yeah.
This is legit. I've been the same company last year.
I'm losing your audio. I don't know if it's Skype or this video that's playing.
Scent, embrace a sizzle. Who knows where that crispy compass will lead you?
All right, we'll go back up to that window.
At darkest midnight, the Nostrils North Star awaits you.
Nostrils North Star.
So yes, because her little bacon-smelling alarm is going off, she's dreaming of bacon.
Bacon's gonna save the world
When
here.
imagination blossoms, only this scent will guide you to your greatest awakening.
Bacon flowers.
It's like Homer Simpson in the world of chocolate.
Yeah.
Wake up. Wake up. To the morning of your dreams.
That would actually be a fantastic gift for
Oscar
Father's Day, like bacon roses.
Yes, this is by Oscar Mayer.
Yeah, that's the same company that last year for Father's Day did the bacon in the hardwood box.
Mm.
And you could actually get a pound of. It's sold out in no time. But yeah, you could get bacon in a box delivered, like a comes looking like it's a box of cigars in this very, very fancy, schwanky looking hardwood box, and it's just got some bacon in it, like a pound of bacon. Which I shouldn't say just a pound of bacon, but it was a pound of bacon, right? So
I'm wondering if there's any prices for this thing, or how do you purchase this? Because it can't just be an app. You can't smell an app. I can't smell an app. Maybe you guys can smell an app.
A little thing that goes in the bottom of your iPhone.
Yeah, I know. Well, scroll to get the device. I'm scrolling. Nothing's happening. No, not working. Get the device.
Seriously?
All right, I'll click the link that says get the device, and nothing happens when I click the link.
It's Senti.
Is it working for you?
You have to win it through a sweepstakes at Oscar Mayer's website.
What?
This bacon device isn't being sold. You have to win it through a sweepstakes on an Oscar Mayer website.
It probably only has it's only good for 5 wake-ups before it runs out of stink.
I can't even get used to the
Apply
word.
for a chance to get the device. Apply. Right there.
Doesn't
Official
work for me.
Bacon Beta Tester entry form. Answer these questions for a chance to win your own Oscar Mayer Wake Up and Smell the Bacon device and become an official bacon beta tester. Oscar Mayer bacon is smoked with a blend of natural hardwoods, giving it a taste that is bold and epic, wondrous and heavenly, completely out of this world, yummy in my tummy. Oscar Mayer bacon is brined, then cured for 12 hours. How long would you be willing to wait? 12 hours is nothing. An eternity, for true love is timeless. 5 minutes, maybe 10, however long it takes. In 3 words, describe your love for Oscar Mayer bacon.
3 words.
Bacon, bacon.
Bacon and bacon.
Bacon, baconer, and baconist. Yep, and that's the entry form.
Bacon, 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 bacon.
Is bacon 1 word or 2?
Lucid bacon dreams.
Yeah, it's essentially a Senti with bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Download the free app.
Mm.
So you just wake up to the sounds of frying bacon.
Mm. It's a different kind of dream. Okay. That's it. I'm going to lock it up. You guys, have fun. Get your taxes done.
Buy a
do.
land. Fuck taxes.
I wish. I do.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Fuck taxes. There, I said it.
All right. Later, guys.